Hi, Freddie.
Hey,
How are you today?
I'm absolutely awesome. It's beautiful, it's sunny. And this morning I was sort of thinking about listening. All right, I've heard lots of people studying another language, especially English, complaining about listening. They have listening problems, especially those people who study English somewhere where English is not spoken naturally every day, right? Like they do have English classes. So I think we've talked about listening a little bit before.
Yeah, we talked about, if I remember correctly, we talked about something, a kind of practice that you refer to as extensive listening.
Mm-hmm.
And you gave
you
us
remember what it is?
amazing. Well, let's see. Said that, okay. A couple of things I said. You said, remember to try to do it every day. Don't overdo it, but try to do it every day. Listen for just for the sake of the story. Just follow the story. Try to have fun. Don't select something. Like don't be very picky with the like how much I can understand from each like book that I'm listening to. You said like it's better to start with fiction and try to enjoy it.
Absolutely. Pick something that you absolutely enjoy. All right. And this listening activity, extensive listening, this will give you fluency. All right. You will become fluent in your listening comprehension. Okay. But there's another activity that people can try, all right, for precision, in order to be precise, in order to little by little get everything. Okay. And it is called intensive listening. And in this kind of listening, usually you should choose a piece of recording. About 30 seconds, at most 1 minute is enough. That's sometimes even too much. And you choose something which is a little bit difficult for you. It shouldn't be too challenging or too overwhelming, but a little bit difficult. It's a good idea to choose something with beautiful language, with rich language, something well-spoken, all right? Perhaps a piece of a lecture, or it really depends on what kind of listening you want to just improve it, all right? Perhaps you want to just learn how to listen to the news, then choose a piece of news, or perhaps you want to listen to academic presentations. So choose an academic lecture, but just a very small piece of it. And now what you do is that you need to listen to it again and again and again. All right. The first step is choose a piece of recording. Listen to it many times. All right. Listen again and again and again. Try to understand what is happening. Get the gist of it. All right. What is the topic about? Also, along the way, unconsciously, you're familiarizing yourself with the accent, the speaker's accent and everything. And then what you want to do is that then you want to just play it chunk by chunk, piece by piece, and you want to write down everything. All right. And sometimes you see that while you're writing down all the sentences, all the phrases spoken by the speaker, there are parts you don't get. There are parts you don't understand. All right. For whatever reason. Maybe there's a new word that you don't know. Usually, if you don't know a word, when you listen to it, you don't even recognize it, right? Perhaps exactly. It could be grammar. It could be pronunciation. It could be a variety of different things. But if there is any part which you don't get, all right, just put a number of dots showing that, okay, I don't get this part, and continue with the rest, all right? And do this again and again and again and again. Listen the next time. And after some listening and writing down sessions, you will see that, okay, I sort of have a text with some blanks in it. And then keep listening, try to fill in the blanks. Sometimes when you understand the whole thing, it's possible to fill in the blanks. Sometimes it may not be possible. If you have access to a native speaker or your teacher, you can ask them to help you fill in the blanks.
I remember this. I was always doing this. What is this, Fred? I don't hear it. And you say, oh, these words. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah, exactly. exactly. So this is really great, and you need to do this along with extensive listening. Again, that's really important because extensive listening will give you fluency, and intensive listening will give you precision. All right, and you need both of them. At the beginning, somehow they work against each other. All right, the more fluent you become, the less precise you may be, or the more you focus on precision, you may lose your fluency more. But after some time, then there will be a balance. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. They approach it. Yeah, exactly. They become one, and you will be a fluent and precise listener, actually.
And something related to this, students have mentioned. Sometimes they say, "Oh, I don't like this accent of that accent. Or Australian accent is strange for me, or I'm not comfortable with the British accent or American accent, North American accent." And is it a good idea to escape listening to certain accents just because you don't like
it? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think we'll have more videos about pronunciation, dialects, and things like that later on. But that's a very good point for any kind of listening, whether you're doing extensive listening, whether you're doing intensive listening, which are great practices. You need to incorporate them into your daily exercises. But also any other kind of listening. Perhaps you're just listening for a kind of examination, like the IELTS examination, TOEFL examination, or even Cambridge exams like FCE, CAE, CPE. Perhaps you're doing some kind of listening for, I don't know, a business meeting, business presentation, job interview, whatever it is. Remember, as a person who knows English, as a person who uses English in everyday life, you need to understand all accents and not just native speakers' accents. All right. It is not just a matter of understanding Australians and the British and Americans and Canadians. You need to understand any kind of accent. All right. You have lots of accents. Remember, right now, the English language is the language of problem solving, the language of international communication, international studies, sort of. All right. Many scientific journals are written in English. Even if, for example, you're a French speaker or German speaker, you usually would do it in English too. So you should be able to understand any kind of accent, all right, any speaker. So I really recommend listening to a variety of different accents. Now, if you keep listening to one kind of accent, if you have a preference, for example, you say, well, I'm really comfortable with the North American accent, the accent we have in Canada and in the United States, right? If you say that, well, I'm comfortable with this, and you may be comfortable with this. The problem is that if you just listen to this accent, when you listen to other kinds of accent, the British accent, some form of the British accent, you may not understand it. So you need training in all of them, all right? Don't be prejudiced. Now, for your pronunciation, for your speaking, it's a good idea to follow one, all right? Say, I want to just speak the Canadian accent or the American accent or the British accent. But for the sake of comprehension, you should be able to understand it. You do the same thing for reading, exactly. Right? You wouldn't say that, oh, the writer of this book is not American or is not Canadian. I'm not going to understand this, right? It is the same thing. So that was a very good question.
One more thing about seeing it a lot in classes, that the students trying to we are focusing on intensive listening, and we are listening to a phrase, a sentence, and they go, I don't get anything. Mm-hmm. Then you show them the audio transcript, the transcripts of that, and they go like, I perfectly understand this sentence. I have no problem. I know the structure, I know the vocabulary, I understand the meaning, everything's good. And they kind of like, oh, I'm so bad. Should this discourage them from trying? Is there something wrong with them?
No, of course not. There's nothing wrong. Usually this happens. There could be other reasons as well, but the main reason usually is pronunciation. Mm-hmm. All right. Now, remember, many students learn English from books. Mm-hmm. All right. And when you learn from books, and There's nothing wrong with that. But when you learn from books, you want to make sure that you know the correct pronunciation, because the problem is that each word, each phrase has two different forms. You have a written form, that's what you see on the page, and you have the pronunciation, the oral form. All right, that's how we pronounce the words or how produce the sounds in the word or the phrase. And if you don't know the sounds, even if you know the word, for example, let's say that you've seen a word in written form and you know the meaning and you can write it, even you can use it in a sentence. If you see it in a sentence while you're reading, you understand what it means, you understand the sentence. But if you don't know the pronunciation, or if you have a wrong idea about what the pronunciation is, then when you listen to the word spoken by a person, you wouldn't recognize it. And this is exactly the reaction, because then you wouldn't understand, okay, what is happening here? And when they give you the written form, you say, oh my God, I know this word, I know this phrase. But you didn't recognize it, all right, because you don't know the pronunciation. That's one reason. Another reason is that you need fluency. Fluency is not just a matter of speaking. You need fluency in listening and reading as well. And like any kind of fluency, you need practice. All right. So you need to listen. Guys, you need to listen every day. You need to read every day. That's really important. It is like anything else in your life, right? You eat every day. You take a shower, hopefully every day, right?
Hopefully.
right. Every day. So you need to read every day. You need to listen every day. The only problem is that whenever we tell the students, you need to read every day, you need to listen every day, they're like, oh my God, I don't have the time. No, you don't really need to just find the time to read, because you don't need to read for 2 hours. You don't need to listen for 2 hours, all right? There are lots of periods of time, short little snippets of time during your day that you could use for reading, you could use for listening. Do it.
It's kind of like compound interest, I think. You can do it in a small fraction of a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then by the end of the day, you go, oh, I spent half an hour.
I mean, honestly, check your smartphone. See how many hours
if
you're
you
using
have time.
every day.
I always say, if you have time for TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you have time for studying.
Exactly.
It's just a matter of prioritizing it.
Exactly.
Use it. But so great, Freddie. Thanks a lot again for great tips. I hope that everyone start listening more. It really works.
Guys, absolutely do it. One of the things that we're just thinking about, you let us know if you like the idea. One of the things that we may be doing in the future is that there may be videos in which we demonstrate reading materials, listening materials, and we show you how to do extensive reading or intensive reading, extensive listening and intensive listening. All right, perhaps we can even do this some sort of demonstration, or perhaps it could be even we may have a series of just videos for this if people like it. You let us know.
Let us know if you're interested, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, be awesome. Practice. Don't give up. Everything's gonna be fine.
Thanks, everyone. See you in the next video.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.